Happy New Year to everybody out there in chat, apart from Zeal Gould, because he's from Chicago.
Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Aircraft Spark with another edition of Crossfire. Happy New Year, everybody! First one back. Yeah, good times. With me as usual, the best hair. Wait, you're not Don Marie. What are you doing on my show?
Well, I'm looking for a new job.
Oh, well, I do understand that come the 20th, you will be unemployed.
Well, there's a position opened up in Canada from what I hear.
Oh, well, I was raised there, so I'm thinking about it.
I hear you standing in for Don Marie, aka River Right Left to Center, is drunk Kamala Harris. Welcome to the show. All the way from across the pond, Dark Knight in a fursuit, Furry Bastard, aka Batman UK edition. How are you doing tonight?
Salam Individel.
Yeah, about that. I totally disavow. Jesus Jones. Welcome back, everyone. It's 2025. Today is the 6th of January in this current year. It is the 4-year anniversary of the Not So Really insurrection. And today, it was made official that Donald J. Trump is officially elected, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that much later in the program. We have other things to talk about because things go on a timeline. And, well, some things need to be addressed earlier than others. And let's go ahead and kick it off. Pull up my stuff.
Oh, don't pull out your stuff in public.
Well, I hope y'all had a good New Year's. I hope y'all did a lot of fun stuff, and I hope you were not in New Orleans. Feds reveal chilling new timeline on how maniac terrorist scoped out New Orleans kill zone. The FBI on Sunday released new details about 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, the man authorities say carried out the deadly New Year's Day terrorist attack in New Orleans, including his movements in and out of the country and the preparations he took immediately prior to the attack. Jabbar, who authorities said acted alone. No. Bullshit.
It's happened over here a lot of times, so I only wish it had never happened in the States.
Yeah. Acted alone in an attack on Bourbon Street that killed 14 people, had traveled to Cairo, Egypt from June 22nd to July 3rd of 2023, then returned to the U.S. on a separate trip on July 10th of 2023, traveled to Ontario, Canada, returned to the U.S. a few days later. The FBI said during a press conference. The FBI also said Jabbar visited Tampa, Florida recently. Jabbar also made at least 2 trips to New Orleans in October and November prior to the deadly attack. Recorded video on Bourbon Street with Meta smart glasses. Quote, our agents are getting answers on where he went, who he went with, and how those trips may or may not tie to the actions here, said Lionel Merthrill, FBI special agent in charge of the New Orleans field office.
Trying to get a picture on him. Is he Middle Eastern or Pakistani extraction, you reckon?
He's black.
Is he?
Yeah.
I was just wondering.
Yeah, no, he's
hard to tell.
Look, there's some Middle Eastern features there, but
also some Pakistani features there.
Yeah.
He looks like a chubby version of the Scottish First Minister, ex-Scottish First Minister, Humza Yousaf.
Yeah. While it remains unclear whether those trips were connected to the attack, FBI Assistant Director Christopher Raya said the agency is investigating whether Jabbar and any other associates in the U.S. or overseas. All investigative details and evidence that we now have still support Jabbar acted alone in New Orleans, said Rhea. We have not seen any indications of an accomplice in the United States, but we're still looking into potential associates in the U.S. and outside our borders. Jabbar, an Army veteran from Houston, plowed a rented Ford pickup truck. By the way, it was an EV. Okay, it was an F-150 Lightning edition through the crowd of Bourbon Street. Revelers in the attack, that the official said, was inspired by the Islamic State. Dozens of others were injured in the truck of peace attack, and Jabbar was killed in a shootout with the police. He was wearing meta glasses at the time of the vehicle attack, but did not activate the glasses to live stream his actions that day, according to Mithril. FBI recovered the black ISIS flag from the rented truck and found Jabbar's pledge allegiance to ISIS in online videos posted hours before the attack. Jabbar also set a fire on Mandeville Street before heading to Bourbon Street, which was later speculated to be a distraction before he carried out the attack. Jabbar purchased ice chest in Texas on December 31st, 2024, that he used to hide IEDs before entering Louisiana and going to a home that he rented. Officials said hours later, in the early mornings of January 1 of 2025, Jabbar placed IEDs at 2 locations. New videos released by the FBI shows him placing one of the chests at Bourbon and St. Peter Street and the second at Bourbon and Toulouse Street. The official said he botched the detonation of the devices during his attack. He did have access to the detonator, so he used an electric match in its place to try to set off the explosive materials, said Joshua Jackson, ATF special agent in charge of the New Orleans Field Division. It's not novel. What was different is he didn't use the right or the correct device to set it off, and that is just indicative of his inexperience and lack of understanding of how material might be set off. New Orleans Coroner Office has identified all 14 victims, and the youngest listed is 18 and the oldest is 63. Most victims were in their 20s.
Well, you can tell he wasn't acting under the guidance of any of the alphabet organizations, because they would have given him good training in explosives.
Well, so I'm going to tell you this: the actual people who are good at building these explosive devices are people who have done it for years, and honestly, there is no real no substitute for experience when it comes to this kind of stuff. What is up, April Rain?
Maybe.
Uh-oh, you get called out, buddy.
I see.
President Biden planned to travel to New Orleans with the First Lady Jill Biden on Monday to grieve with the families and community members impacted by this tragic attack.
Yeah, the real reason to go to New Orleans is because Jill needs to see that voodoo book to keep Joe from falling down. Now,
there's a lot of things that have come out about this, and the fact that he planted these devices, and they say that they do have this on video. However, there's a problem. One of the initial videos that they put out showed a woman putting down one of the ice chests, and last time I checked, old Jabber has an outie, not an innie, and is shaped a lot like a man.
There's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the official government position is that she was just like, a couple people came by and they were just checking it out. They were just curious as to why there was cooler there, and I don't know why you don't believe everything that the government always tells you. You must be a conspiracy theorist.
Madam's soon-to-be former vice president. I work for the United States government, and that has been my primary adult job and throughout my entire life. Y'all lie about everything, absolutely everything.
Mind, may I compliment you on your makeup tonight?
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, look, I get it. You being a wine box mom. I mean, a high octane politician.
Hey, how dare you call me a mom?
That bastard ain't
God.
yours. But the real problem that I see here, and pardon me, Madam soon be former Vice President, is the fact that we allow certain extremist elements of a particular religion of certain peace, and we allow them to do things like drive very peaceful vehicles of peace, and we allow them to
Peaceful
exist.
explosives.
We allow them to exist in our very not so peaceful nation, and their entire ideology is 100% adverse. It's antithetical to the Western ideology. Why, Madam soon-to-be Vice President, would you support these people?
You're going to have to explain to what antithetical means.
I don't know if you noticed this or not, but he's brown. Hello?
Okay.
Not anymore, he isn't.
Brown.
Yeah, he's kind of crimson now, but
Brown.
No, now he's pale, very, very pale.
I mean, if it had it my way, if we had it my way, then he would be about 11, about 9 to 11 inches shorter and very, very black, because we would char his body. Because if you're burned and headless, you cannot enter paradise.
If you had it my way, he'd be spread over a large area.
If I had it my way, I'd be spread over a large area. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Heyo! Oh my goodness!
I bet you're missing those state visits to all those distilleries.
Madam soon-to-be, you are a spicy woman. You know what?
In my day.
In your day, lady, you are not past your prime. You're like a fine bottle of wine. You're just getting better with age, girlfriend.
Well, I'm going to have a lot of free time coming up here pretty soon, so
I hear you.
now to get a hold of me.
Oh, but not only do we have this attack on New Orleans, which, by the way, was quite tragic. Okay, 14 people losing their lives. 13 people lost their lives, and one jackass lost his. I hate the fact that they actually include the death toll to include the person performing the act of violence. Okay, no one gives a fuck that he's dead. His family's actually happy that he's dead. ISIS, I'm sure, is happy that he's dead. You know what? Everyone should be rejoicing in the fact that he no longer lives. I do have one question.
I don't. I think actually naming him was a bad idea, because that's part of what he wanted.
So he converted over to Islam, from what I understand, at an early age, right about 9 or 10, and that is what his name was changed. That is not the name he was born with. And you know what? The name itself, I really don't even care about. What I care about is the fact that he was allowed to fester in an extremist ideology in America. I understand that we have freedom of religion, we have freedom of thought and things like that, but there are certain things that we should not tolerate. Okay,
I would agree with that.
And the more and more tolerant that we pretend to be, the worse things tend to happen. I do not apologize for this. I don't believe that the religion of Islam should be authorized to be practiced in the Western Hemisphere, or at least Western civilization, because it is antithetical. It is actually part of the pillars of Islam for world domination.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just not a fan of that, because I don't want an Islamic flag flying over my country. And that is their goal. And they will cease at nothing to make it happen. There are westernized Muslims who follow Islam, and they're heretics by their own religion.
Yeah.
And they're unworthy. They're sharmuta.
And they're treated as such by the influx of recent Muslims.
So it's and look, not all Muslims are bad people. Far from it. Okay, there's some good people who are just misled, and because it is a false religion. It is a religion of death and destruction, and it bothers me. It really does. Now I know I know, Madam Soon to be. This is where the very pithy politician would sit here and scold me and tell me that I'm not following the Western values and ideologies of liberalism, and you're right. I mean, I can do the argument for you. It's because I've actually had this battle in my head. But what do you have to say about that thought?
Brown.
Fair.
Yeah, as Vinny pointed out, he gets 72 virgins.
Yeah, the deal is they're all men.
And as I pointed out, that means he'll be spending eternity playing Magic the Gathering.
Ooh, the smell of desperation and body odor.
That's just from him.
Oh, all I know is, look, our next story is just as tragic, but not so brown. A former Army Green Beret, takes his own life and blows himself up in a Cybertruck in Las Vegas. This from CBS News. String of coincidences that initially appeared to link the New Year's Day tragedies in New Orleans and Las Vegas have been overtaken by mounting evidence that the Tesla Cybertruck bombing at the Trump International Hotel was, in fact, a public display of private tragedy. New information and interview show. Multiply decorated U.S. Army Special Forces Master Sergeant Matthew Livelsberger sent a disjointed email on the morning of New Year's Eve to Samuel Shoemate, a retired Army intelligence officer and military pundit. It outlined a constellation of grievances and dire warnings related to his military service, but gave no hint or explanation for or of his actions. In a text made public by local authorities, Livelsberger wrote, "I need to cleanse my mind of the brothers I've lost and relieve myself of the burdens of the lives I've took." In an interview on Friday, a former girlfriend of Livelsberger said he told her he suffered a traumatic brain injury while serving in the Middle East. Alicia Arit, who was in a relationship off and on with Livelsberger from 2018 to 2021, told CBS that she exchanged around 30 texts with Livelsberger in the days leading up to the bombing. She said he gave no indication he was planning to take his own life or to blow up the Tesla truck outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Quote, "He loved the Army and gave his life and his mind for it," Arit said. An Army spokesperson confirmed to CBS News in a statement on Saturday that Livelsberger had received counseling through its Preservation of the Force and Family program. Master Sergeant Matthew Livelsberger had access and used the Preservation of the Force and Family program. He did not display any concerning behaviors at the time and was granted personal leave. All relevant records were provided to the FBI as the lead investigative agency. Experts told CBS News that Livelsberger may have been the latest illustration of an ongoing concern facing the U.S. military's most elite special operators: the heightened risk of brain injury, traumatic stress, and mental health struggles. According to the National Center for PTSD, research on veterans from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan suggested that 10 to 18% of all troops are likely to have post-traumatic stress disorder and be at risk for other mental health problems. Depression rates amongst troops returning to overseas range as high as 24%. That's almost a quarter, ladies and gentlemen. The high-risk, high-intensity career has for years raised concerns about its tolls on the long-running exposure to combat violence that could take on Special Forces soldiers. Livelsberger's father told CBS News that he has been at home in Colorado Springs with his wife and his 8-month-old child on Christmas on an approved military leave before he rented the Cybertruck and began his meandering drive towards Las Vegas. Pentagon told CBS News that there were no red flags prior to Livelsberger's departure from Germany, where he was stationed with the 1st BAT 10th Special Forces Group. A CNN report Friday said Livelsberger visited military behavioral health services multiple times. A review of Livelsberger's social media interviews with friends who knew him well, and most pointed out his email to Shoemate offered indications he might have been struggling with those issues. On Friday, Shoemate discussed the letter on the Sean Ryan Show, a podcast where Ryan, a former Navy SEAL and CIA contractor, interviews individuals primarily from the national security space. In the email obtained by CBS News, Leibelsberger referenced his ongoing concerns about civilian casualties caused by an airstrike in Afghanistan. The incident he mentioned appeared to align with reports of U.S. airstrikes in May of 2019 targeting an alleged drug processing facility in Afghanistan, where more than 30 civilians, including children, were reportedly killed. By the way, the children there were actually workers processing heroin. CBS could not independently verify the letter's authenticity. Investigators said at the briefing Friday that Leibelsberger planned and prepared for the Las Vegas bombing alone. On Sunday morning, the day after authorities said he rented the Cybertruck, Leibelsberger sent Arit photos of the Tesla and said, "I rented a Tesla Cybertruck. It's the shit." Also told CBS News that Leibelsberger sent her playful videos of himself listening to rap on the drive to Las Vegas. Arit said that the FBI visited her after the explosion. She said they told her that they had been in contact with several other women in the days leading up from the bombing. Arit said Leibelsberger suffered a traumatic brain injury before she met him while deployed in the Middle East, and he told her that caused change in his behavior. He said he didn't want to get treatment for it. He felt it would ruin his career if he sought help, because it would. All he wanted to do was deploy and get back to it. Yes, that's very common. He suffered a lot of memory problems as a result of the injuries and he sustained during his service, including poor concentration, brain fog, headaches, she said. A registered nurse said she recognized these symptoms of a TBI because she had worked on a ward for service members with brain injuries and amputations at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center from 2008 to 2009. I understood him even if he didn't know the words for it, she said. Arit said that he had guilt over some of the actions while deployed, expressing concerns. What the fuck is that? Expressing concerns of his actions may have contributed to the death of innocent civilians. Said Leibelsberger went through periods of isolation. While they were together, he would disappear and go cold for a couple of weeks. He was depressed, but he always wanted to get through the depression. He recognized it, was working on it. He pushed himself hard to get through it. Arit described Leibelsberger as kind and said she was shocked at his actions. Quote, "I never saw him angry or act impulsively, and he was always thoughtful in the things he did. He was always the first person to jump into battle and stand up for someone else." Many former colleagues interviewed by CBS News expressed shock and sadness, including Fardin Fetwat, a former Afghan interpreter who deployed alongside Leibelsberger. Fetwat credited Leibelsberger with saving his life during combat and later helping him and his family resettle in Colorado. Though they had not been in contact for several years, describing Leibelsberger's death, Fetwat said it felt like losing a brother and not just a colleague. The Sean Ryan podcast. Let's talk about that. I think that letter was bullshit. If you spent 3 hours or the hour, I'm sorry, it was an hour video. If you spent the hour watching that video, I believe there was truth to some of the things that he said, but I don't believe it was the whole truth. For a little bit of context, Leibelsberger was an 18 Echo, which is a Special Forces weapons sergeant. He is an explosives expert. He did a lot of work in intelligence and things like that. And from what I can see, this bomb, and I don't like calling it a bomb. It's basically, I would equate it to the same thing that you would see at a monster truck show. When Bigfoot or the Gravedigger truck or whatever rolls over the truck, they usually have gasoline or kerosene mixed in there with pyrotechnics. That is what the Cybertruck was filled with. It was filled with kerosene, Coleman lantern fuel, and fireworks with a crude improvised explosive device to initially set things off. They say due to the construction of the Tesla vehicle of the Cybertruck, it was so sound and so sturdy that it held in the blast. Sure, cool. I'm not going to deny that. Here's where I have issues. It doesn't make sense. If he wanted to atone for innocent lives in which he was involved in the taking of, in the assault in which he's talking about, it was an airstrike. He was not directly involved. He was in on the mission planning of this target. You can feel guilt for that. But why would you go and do something that could possibly harm other people if you find yourself responsible for these actions? Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, I do not condone things like suicide or anything like that. In fact, I will tell you, if you need help, contact me and I will help you find that help. Okay? There is always another answer. This is not Canada, and suicide is not, it's never really the answer. But what this man did is he endangered innocent lives, of which I believe 10 people were injured. There was only one fatality, and it was from himself. Individuals state, and the Army has come out and stated that the DNA of the corpse does not match that of his son. Now, I don't know why they're giving out that information, because that makes absolutely no sense to publish it, because here's the reality. There are many men who are raising other men's sons. That isn't a bad deal. Okay? If he had a problem with that, then he should, if his wife was lying to him, then maybe he should have taken it out on her and not a Cybertruck and individuals out in public. I would never say that he should actually do that, but hey, at least that would make a little bit more sense. None of this makes sense. Supposedly, he took his own life using a 50 caliber Desert Eagle to the face, and supposedly he did this in order to make it harder for him to identify because of a lack of dental records matching an exploded face. Fine. You can say that all you want, but I hate to break it to you, the U.S. Army has DNA on everyone who has served since like the 60s. So you can lose your face, you can lose all your teeth. They can find a big toe and they'll know whose it is. There's a lot of things that don't make sense to me on this, and I'm not satisfied with the email that was presented on the Sean Ryan podcast. The idea that he wanted to do this to bring attention to what he was complaining about, fine. But there's a component that people aren't really looking at, and lefties will deny it vehemently. He used a Cybertruck, which is created by Tesla, which is owned by Elon Musk. And he had it to detonate in front of Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. I'm sorry, this seems to be a very specific target set. Yes, I know there are more emails. I'm not saying the shoe guy who went on Sean Ryan was intentionally bringing forward false information. I think he was bringing forward information that he thought was relevant and serious and everything else. And I believe that Sean Ryan has even said that they can't fully vet the authenticity of the email itself. Okay. There's been other emails that have come out that came out a little bit more sane sounding. However, it appears to be a little bit choreographed, if you will. I'm not saying the United States government is setting you up, but when you look at things like the soon-to-be FBI director coming into charge and things like that, I'm saying there's a possibility of establishment members within the federal government altering information that is released to the public in order to support a narrative. At face value, this stuff doesn't make 100% sense. If it doesn't make sense, or if something seems a little too convenient, well, paint a tinfoil hat on me. I'll bite. I'll be a conspiracy theorist. I honestly don't believe we're given all the information on this. I believe that there are things that are left out. And I am sad that a son will grow up without his father. I am sad for him. I am sad for the loss of his family. And I am irate the fact that someone would be so selfish to do something that would harm other people in the name of bringing visibility to their own pain. Fuck you, and may you burn in hell. It's a tough thing because my conspiracy brain is screaming, this isn't real. This doesn't seem right. And usually when that happens, I'm not wrong. I'm concerned about this, and I don't think this is the last one. The last thing that is going to happen towards this thing.
Shot.
So I think a lot of this is choreographed. And honestly, when I first watched the Sean Ryan show, I was like, some of this makes sense. It doesn't fully make sense. In fact, I even tweeted about it, and I'll hold on. Let me bring that up because I think I actually did a good job of stating my opinions there. Let me find this. Regarding the information released by Sean Ryan yesterday, some of it makes sense and some of other things do not. I have faith that if something is actually untrue, Sean will correct the record. Ryan Macbeth, who is another YouTube creator, critiques. Ryan Macbeth sent out a critique calling them both liars. Critique seems too surface-based and petty to take at face value. I was conflicted when I listened to the Sean Ryan podcast. When I listened to Ryan Macbeth's explanation of what he thought was right, I just thought it was petty. It was just like, this guy's getting more clout than me, and it doesn't all make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, it probably isn't real. Things happen for a reason. Am I right, Mrs. Soon to be former, Madam Soon to be former?
Oh, thank you. In no way was a message being sent, and a message being sent was in no way. Trump supporters blow themselves up in front of Trump buildings every day. Nothing to see here, and here there's nothing to see. This guy definitely just wanted to be unburdened by what had been, and in no way was this a warning to Elon or Trump from me and my friends. I had absolutely nothing to do with this, and there is no such thing as government mind programs. No, we don't control people's minds.
This is true.
I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
My mind is not being controlled.
You know, more true words could not have been spoken by anyone else. Thank you, Madam Soon to be former.
Yeah, because you'd have to have a mind for it to be controlled first.
Meow.
You know, that is fair.
Was that a personal attack?
Sparky, how do you know Kamala? Well, so it's not like we're drinking buddies or anything else, but look, she's having a rough time right now, and she's exploring her avenues for
that's what they call it these days.
This is my job interview.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing, April.
Actually, Kamala, about the job interview. One important thing I need to test for you to see if you got what it takes to do this job. Can you say Would you like fries with that?
Why you're making? I mean, I have. Everybody knows that I work at McDonald's.
Totally. I firmly believe that 100%. Look, I understand that you come from, middle class roots. I understand that not everyone can live in a McMansion in Quebec, Ontario. But I do understand that those who do live in McMansions tend to be of the middle class variety.
The middle class variety.
Yes. So look, I will sit there and say true ish. Because I came from humble middle class background, and I've never lived in a McMansion, but I've never lived in Ontario, Quebec. So I wouldn't know. So have to take your word on it. But hey, an employment opportunity is coming your way, and all you have to do is
head where?
Is just you need to go up north and you need to start working towards becoming the leader of the Liberal Party. Yes, because Justin Trudeau's latest. Trump says many in Canada love being the 51st state after Prime Minister announces his resignation. Justin Trudeau announced his resignation as Liberal Party leader, said he will remain as Canadian Prime Minister until the party has chosen a successor. You see, Madam soon-to-be former, this would be perfect for you. In its end of a 9-year stint in office, pressure grew from within the Liberal Party, which is trailing significantly behind in the opposition to Conservatives in the polls. Trudeau made an announcement from his Rideau Cottage residence, quote, I intend to resign as party leader and prime minister after party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide competitive process, Trudeau said on Monday. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I am having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election. A row broke outside Trudeau's party after U.S. President-elect Donald Trump announced a proposal to introduce 25% tariffs on the country. Trump pressed on with his taunts, referring to Canada as the 51st state following the announcement. Many people in Canada love being the 51st state, he wrote on Truth Social. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland unexpectedly stepped down mid-December after citing differences with Trudeau on how to approach Trump's presidency and tariff proposal. Canada is due to hold its general election on or before the 20th of October. So, Madam soon-to-be former, how do you feel about going back to Canada? Oh, Canada, and becoming
Snow Queen,
the leader of the Liberal Party and all frostbacks in Canada?
Well, actually, it's something that I'm taking consideration seriously and seriously considering considerations to be considered to all people at all times.
that's very considerate of you.
And look, you could look at it like this. Look, you could get a second bite of the apple, if you will, Madam soon-to-be former, you will be able to combat the evil Donald Trump in his economic takeover of Canadianistan, where you could hashtag resist his tariffs and maybe make a repeat of the 1812 war, where Canada was actually the successor.
So, all options are on the table right now.
I hear you. I understand that maybe the news is a bit fresh to you, but I have a little bit more, and it is because your opponent, Mr. Trump, has responded to the resignation.
By all options are on the table, does she mean that the minibar's open?
Oh, that's never closed.
It's fair.
Yeah.
In the wake of Canada's Justin Trudeau announcing his intention to resign as after a new Liberal Party leader is selected, President-elect Donald Trump called for Canada to merge with the United States, saying that Canadian citizens would love being the 51st state. Many people in Canada love being the 51st state. The United States can no longer suffer a massive trade deficit and subsidies that Canada needs to stay afloat. Justin Trudeau knew this and resigned. If Canada merged with the U.S., there would be no tariff, taxes would go way down, and we would be totally secure from the threat of Russian and Chinese ships that are constantly surrounding them. Together, what a great nation it would be. Now, I will tell you, I oppose the idea of Canada being allowed to merge with the United States 100% and be granted statehood. If Canada was to become a member of the family of the United States, I would offer that it should become a member as a territory state where they still retain some independence, yet they're economically tied to us, but they are not granted statehood. Therefore, they do not have full representation in Congress, nor do they have the ability to vote for president.
So you can take their stuff, but they can't say anything.
Well, so I say this because in order for you to participate in that electoral process, you would need to assimilate to American culture first. And Canadianistan is a bit away outside the purview of what we would call an American assimilation. And that is why. And also it would give a substantial power to the Democrats, because the majority of Canadians would identify more with the Democrat Party over the Republicans. And yeah, I'm not down with that. Trump has repeatedly referred to Canada as a 51st state and threatened to hit the country with tariffs if Trudeau's government did nothing to help stem the illegal immigration into the U.S. When the two leaders met in Mar-a-Lago early on December, Trump reportedly told Trudeau that he could become governor of the 51st state if he thought the proposed tariffs would kill Canada's economy. Trump poked fun at Governor Trudeau multiple times afterwards, even suggesting on Christmas Day that the Canadian hockey legend Wayne Gretzky run for governor of Canada position, who would win easily. Trudeau has shut down Parliament until March 24th. Trudeau will remain as interim prime minister until new leader is selected by the Liberal Party. And Ocean Bree Salty comes in for $2. And I'm sorry for Madam Former, soon to be former, but we have to do something here. It is a tradition here. We toss commies for money.
What?
Let's go.
Oh, right behind the sofa.
And thank you so much for that $2 donation, allowing us to toss the first commie of 2025. Your donation is very much welcome.
I think you want to send Kamala there. She looks shocked.
Just remember, Pinochet did nothing wrong.
And China is asshole.
And YouTube and
China is asshole.
Thank you for that donation. Are you okay, Madam Soon to be former?
Maybe I will be. I don't even. My heart. No, wait, that's my liver.
I was going to say, you don't have a heart, do you?
No. Oh. Oh. Well, actually, technically, yes. I do have a heart. What I'm missing is a soul. That was. Yeah, that was
when you say you have a heart, what you mean is you've got a blood pump.
So yes, old Joe. Yes. We heard about that. In fact, we just got done talking about that a little bit. Although,
I wish I was that.
And our wonderful Madam, soon to be former, is even considering possibly moving back to Canada, returning to her roots, so she could become the leader of the Liberal Party, and potentially being able to combat Donald Trump from the Canadian side of the border. Look, you can hashtag resist.
Yeah, actually, I don't want my Prime Minister to resign. I want him to run away under cover of darkness and never be heard from again.
I think you should come with me to Canada.
Oh no, I could never go to Canada. I mean, look, I love poutine and I love the Canadian people, but I'm not a fan of the cold for one. And
I thought you preferred Zelensky.
Don't like.
I meant the little kitty cat.
Oh well.
Because you could join me and my legions of cat ladies.
It would
topless cat ladies.
I think that would actually be preferable from where he lives currently.
No.
I mean, look, in Canada, they're not, kidnapping hundreds of thousands of children.
Officially.
Hey, I'm just throwing out my little 2 cents.
Yeah.
Which we don't have this on the schedule, but my UK correspondent, there's been a lot of talk recently about the groomer gangs that have been allowed to run rampant in the UK.
It's been known about since the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing has ever been done about it because they come from a certain community and they're worried in case that community kicks off because a lot of these people in these gangs are community leaders. Personally, if I was in charge of the police, I would have arrested them. And if those communities kicked off, I would have sent in the riot police, armed.
But wouldn't that make your government racist?
Who cares about words?
I mean, look, I completely advocate for it. If you've got to be racist in order to stop exploitation of children, I think, get the pitchforks and torches out.
Like I said, who's afraid? Yeah, why be afraid of words? That's all they are, words.
Well, it seems like your prime minister is very afeared of words.
You mean the quivering jelly?
Yes. It is pathetic what's happening over there, and I cringe at the fact that one of the founders of Western democracies, a form of democracy, would cower at the thought of public relations.
And one something we wouldn't have with an easy living memory as well.
Yeah, look, even the Queen would say damn the PR and just do what's right. But of course, the King, well, he's a different breed.
Yeah, if you can call him that.
Well, I mean, officially, we kind of have to. It's his title.
No, breed, I mean.
Fair. I look at what's going on over there, and I see the fact that Canada has arrested Tommy Robinson for the high crime of illegal immigration. Yes, for illegal immigration, which I just find so juicy and hilarious.
How to manage that? He's in jail in the UK.
He was arrested in Canada this week.
Really?
So, yes. Set the keyboard aside. Okay, April. But hey, before you go,
later, April Gator.
Take a look at my background. I got my guitars hung up. I am working towards the actual set for a music studio. So things are coming together. So I'm right there with you, April. I'll be doing producing music here shortly. We've overcome one obstacle, and that was January 6th. By the way, Madam soon to be former, you did a wonderful job today. I want to go ahead and And you know what? Let's talk about that because it had to have been difficult. You breaking the glass ceiling. You really did.
Or did she
Madam.
fall on it?
Well, look, Madam soon to be former actually did. She made history today. She was the first woman to oversee and call her own loss in a national election live on C-SPAN. So I give it to you.
It's all right. It's all right, Kamabla. That wasn't actual people. That was a sound clip.
But Madam soon to be former, look, the amount of bravery it took to stand in that what could some would say was a humiliating position to be in, but with integrity and honor, you did what those evil insurrectionists could not do, and you stood by your laurels and you defended the Constitution and you upheld the peaceful transfer of power. Madam soon to be former, I am proud of you.
Let me be clear. Today was the worst day of my life. I had to certify Trump's 2024 election win. I swallowed my pride, which honestly is one of the easier things I've swallowed since the start of my political career. A couple of people tried to cheer me up. Tim Waltz reminded me that I'm the most charismatic person he's ever worked with. But that just reminded me of the first time he said it, which was the moment when I knew we were doomed. Tampon Timmy is a real piece of work. He was supposed to secure the masculine vote for me. Well, he turned out to be as useful as a screen door on a submarine. Talk about sinking ships. Justin Trudeau called me right after he resigned. He said, Kamala, the shame, embarrassment, and humiliation of knowing the public sees you as a failure is absolutely soul-crushing. The disgrace of having to do the unthinkable is more than one can bear. I said, Justin, it must have been really hard for you to resign today. He said, no, Kamala, I was talking about you certifying Trump's win.
Yeah, but as you've previously stated, you don't have a soul.
I'm speaking. I'm
sorry.
I'll take care of that, Madam soon to be.
When I handed over the certification, Trump leaned in and whispered, you did a good job today. I didn't think you had it in you, but then I remembered that you always have it in you. Then Trump turned to his supporters and said, Kamala, maybe politics isn't your thing. Maybe you should try something else. Like stand-up comedy. You're already a joke to more than half the country.
I'm sure they could find a seat for you on The View.
That wouldn't be so bad. At the end of the day, I'm proud of myself, even if no one else is. I'm unburdened by what has been. I got through this by giving myself a pep talk. I said, Kamala, you can do this. You can certify this win. Just remember, you've done much harder things, like Willie Brown.
I understand with enough Cialis, he was rock hard. Definitely something hard to deal with.
Exceedingly.
But look, you definitely had it in you. We're not going to mention what it was, but
how many times?
We are proud of you standing up and doing the right thing. You proved to us that you are not an election denier, and you are someone that the American people can trust to do the thing when it has to be done.
I have to ask though. I have heard, and I'd like confirmation. Is it true that if President Biden were to bite you, you'd have to be put down with a bullet to the head?
Yes. Yes, that's what happened. I told you before. I felt my soul leaving my body, but then like that couldn't happen because I'd already sold my soul to the devil.
Yeah.
So that's how you have to at this point.
Oh, and people are actually accusing me of being intoxicated. I hate
He's
to break
also-
this to you.
I hate to break this to you.
Yeah, but
I'm kind of retarded.
and that is really where my true power comes from. It also comes from donations like this one, $10 from Rain Nation, aka April Rain, said, "Let me be clear," was telling folks Kamala had opted to do what Trump wanted Pence to do, and she did the certification standing on her feet instead of on her knees or back. And you know what? I applaud that.
Yeah,
There's a dick joke in there, but it's a small one. Something Kamala, I'm sure, is more than able to handle. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to do what we have to do. And I'm sorry, Madam soon to be former, but we have to toss yet again another commie from the Freedom
What?
Copter.
No.
yeah.
No.
Oh, you might recognize this guy. He got a dog with him.
Thank you so much for that $10 donation, allowing us to toss yet again another commie from the Freedom Copter. Remember, Madam soon to be former Pinochet, he did nothing wrong, and of course, YouTube ban.
China is asshole.
Thank you so
I
much for
think
your
that one
donation.
landed right on top of the last one.
The aim is spectacular. You know, there's barely any win to consider. So, but look, let's cover it. Let's talk about it. Today was the 4-year anniversary of the evil insurrection that is known as January 6th, which, by the way, if you look at the background, is actually a picture I took from January 6th. 4 years after Jan 6th insurrection, Kamala Harris certifies Trump's election win. 4 years ago, a mob of Donald Trump supporters attacked the U.S. Capitol, sending lawmakers scrambling for safety and throwing what was traditionally a routine ceremonial process, certifying the electoral vote into chaos.
Killing EOC as well. Remember, don't forget that.
And she was brutally raped after she was killed.
Yep.
Trump later was charged criminally with an unprecedented case with an alleged scheme to overturn the results of the 2020 election, a case only recently dropped following his presidential electoral victory on November 5th. On Monday, Trump's win was officially certified by lawmakers in a joint session of Congress led by Madam soon-to-be former Vice President Kamala Harris, who was defeated by Trump. She presided over the ceremony as president of the Senate, becoming the historic first woman to certify her own electoral loss.
There's a question. Was it just voting or was it also 2 falls and a submission?
Republicans cheered loudly as she announced Trump's 312 electoral votes, while Democrats did the same for the 226 votes. Strong campaign, by the way, Madam soon to be former. Monday's events marked a return to the ministerial task had long been subdued until after Trump's challenge to his loss to President Joe Biden through heightened security measures maintained in place. A winter snowstorm blanketed Washington, but lawmakers forged ahead with the constitutionally mandated responsibility. The House floor was packed with lawmakers for the count, which was the final step in validating the Electoral College results. This year, President Biden emphasized the importance of America's bedrock principle of the peaceful transfer of power but urged the country to never forget what happened in 2021. Quote, we should be proud that our democracy withstood this assault. Biden wrote in an op-ed published late Sunday by the Washington Post, and we should be glad that we will not see such a shameful act again this year. Harris, too, called for a smooth certification transition, the most important pillars of our democracy. Strong words, Madam soon-to-be former. I do believe very strongly that the American democracy is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it. Otherwise, it is very fragile, and it will not be able to withstand moments of crisis. And today, America's democracy stood. She said in a comment after the count. Former Vice President Mike Pence, the target of Trump's ire for not unilaterally rejecting the electoral count results in 2021, issued a statement on Monday praising Harris for overseeing the return to tradition. He said, I welcome the return to order and civility to these historic proceedings and offer my most sincere congratulations and prayers to President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance on their election to lead this great nation. I also commend the members of the House, Senate, and Vice President who did their duty under the Constitution of the United States. It being particularly admirable that Vice President Harris would preside over the certification of a presidential election in which she lost. Speaker Mike Johnson, who was just elected to a second term to lead the House with Trump's assistance, and Vice President Harris called the chamber to order shortly after 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, after the procession of ballots and the senators through the Capitol. Harris opened the votes for each state and handed them to the House tellers, who read aloud the results. Unlike in 2021, there was no objections to the results. Harris conceded to Trump the day after the election day, and no Democrats have challenged the outcome, as many Republicans allies of Trump did so in 2022. And KTZ comes in for $2 and says, Happy New Year. And I say to you, ma'am, not just a Happy New Year, but by God, a merry January 6th.
Yep. Is that a helicopter?
Yes. And you know what? Madam soon-to-be former, we got to do it again. Brace yourself.
Oh, come on. Oh, oh, oh. Oh.
Oh, hey, that was wearing a good white t-shirt. Oh, he bounced.
Thank you so much for that $2 donation. KTZ for allowing us to drop yet again another commie for the Freedom Copter.
Yeah,
Madam soon-to-be former, remember, Pinochet did nothing wrong, and of course, YouTube banned.
China is asshole.
yeah, I don't see how I'm ever supposed to be able to pay back that $20 million if you're only making $2 and $10 donations here. How am I going to pay that back?
Well, so the deal is, Madam soon-to-be former, we don't care if you pay back your debt.
Well, there's a job going at a place called Risky Calls in Vegas.
I understand the Bunny Ranch is hiring. Trump ahead of the certification. Yes.
Oh, hey.
Trump ahead of the certification posted on the social media platform that it will be a big moment in history. MAGA president-elect will be sworn in Monday, January 20th. Trump has claimed his win is a mandate from the American people to implement his agenda for the economy, immigration, and much more.
You know, every time Barack Obama hears mandate, he gets misty-eyed about his dating.
Yes, because
yeah,
Michelle Obama had a penis. You know a little bit of something about that, don't you, Madam soon-to-be former?
Actually, yes, but that's something that's classified. Can't talk about.
Yeah. Operation Beer Can is what I understand was her actual code name. But we're not going to get into that. Look. Indulge me if you will, please, Madam soon to be former, as we regale in the historic actions that you took today. I know this must be hard, but this is a shining moment. May I say a highlight of your political career, Madam. Soon to be
And the
former.
end.
Majority is 270. The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris
Might I just say, Madam soon to be former, those Republicans were rude in their extended standing ovation, impeding you from completing your duties. I apologize.
That
That
must
was
have felt
an
like,
insurrection.
that must
Yeah.
have felt like a kick in the ovaries.
It probably didn't feel good, but you know what? We're on your side for this moment.
Are we?
Kamala D. Harris of the state of
Good.
California has received 226 votes.
Yay, me. I look beautiful there, don't I?
Majority
See, there was a highlight there, right? You did the thing. You did the important thing. But unfortunately,
Class.
you were very class. Look, Madam soon to be former, you put the ass in class. It's amazing. Okay. As the Zoomers would say, you got that junk in the trunk, and you are for real AF.
No, I think the Zoomers would say that I have Riz and that it's Brat and Brat.
Fair, and look, we do have
You're definitely a brat.
we do have your unofficial official statement following, and from what I understand, you went to a local watering hole to give a message to your supporters. Let's check this out.
I just have to remind you, don't you ever let anybody take your power from you. You have the same power that you did before November 5th. And you have the same purpose.
Is that cheers?
And you have the same ability to engage and inspire. So don't ever let anybody or any circumstance take your power from you. I just
Now, no one took your power, Madam soon to be former. No one took your power. You relinquished it because you lost, and that right there is honorable. I appreciate that, Madam soon to be former.
Didn't even get the Kryptonian vote.
And that's what we have on the Jan 6 official certification of the electoral win by now President-elect Donald J. Trump. It took a lot of gumption to do what you did today, Madam soon to be former. And look, I appreciate it. I really do. I cannot say anything foul about your actions today on Capitol Hill from one of your staunchest critics. Great job. You have won the POB, the proverbial pat on the back. Good job. Good job. Good job.
Does that mean I passed this interview? Like, can I come back? Like, to
Yes,
get the job
yes.
here?
Yes. If you would like to take it, Madam soon to be former, we'll get you a new title. Okay. What you will be unburdened by what has been, I assure you.
Yay.
So thank you so much, Madam soon to be former. We applaud you.
Double
Do we?
slap.
Okay.
And come pie.
Kumbaya.
Ah.
That's not where it's kept. Oh, it is.
She knows where it is. She knows where it is always. I like it. I like it.
Nice.
It's very gothic.
Yeah, it's for moments like this.
I hear you. I hear you. Hey, look. There is a win. There is a win for your side.
I would watch your glass if I were you.
Okay, there is a win for you.
I'm gonna watch it go down into my belly.
And that win will come on Friday, January 10th.
Yeah. What I'm waiting for is for her to get so wasted she starts singing football songs.
Yeah, but she doesn't know football songs.
No.
Neither do the people who sing them when they're drunk.
Do you mean soccer?
Yeah, that's what
Or
it's
you
like.
mean football, like real football?
Yeah, real football where you actually kick the round ball with your foot.
Yeah, not foot egg.
No,
as we
the
like.
ball's not round. That's the
Yes,
wrong
it is.
sport.
You're thinking about hand egg,
No,
where you carry an egg in your hand.
I don't know that one.
New York judge says Trump will face no penalties in his criminal hush money case, but upholds conviction. This from CNN. President-elect Donald Trump will face no legal penalties for his conviction in the hush money case. A New York judge ruled Friday. Judge Juan Merchan, however, upheld Trump's conviction in the case, rejecting the president-elect's effort to throw out the jury's verdict because of his re-election in November. This ensures that Trump will be the first convicted felon to become president. See, there's a win, Kamabla. Miss Kamabla. There's a definite win there because Donald Trump will be officially a convicted felon.
Nobody's above the law.
Except for the president's son. Tracking. Merchan set sentencing for January 10th, but indicated the case is essentially over. The court hearing will be held 10 days before Trump is inaugurated for a second term, a reminder of the prominence that his legal issues have played in his return to power in Washington. Merchan, in his ruling, referenced Trump's plan to appeal and said that imposing no penalty would bring finality to the case while allowing Trump to continue to pursue an appeal of the conviction. Such an appeal will lack urgency since Trump will face no punishment that risks interfering with his duties as president. Quote, a sentence of unconditional discharge appears to be the most viable solution to ensure finality to allow defendant to pursue his appellate options, Merchan wrote. So Trump will be an evil baddie felon type person with 34 convictions, but will face no consequences whatsoever. However, he will be allowed to appeal the case, upon which we believe that Judge Merchan will be ruled to have done some probably bad things. We don't have proof of it as of yet, but I'm sure it'll come out in the following case. And then it'll all be expunged. And then that'll be a loss for you, Madam soon-to-be former.
No, the people of New York, the court system of New York will do the right thing and show that no one is above the law.
Apart from
the president's son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they only went after poor innocent Hunter because he was Joe's son. That is political law.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Nobody else would have been punished for that. Nobody. It's never happened.
Okay.
Several times I hear you.
Yeah. You know what? We'll go with that. We'll go with that. It's just fine.
I've never seen a woman putting lipstick on her teeth before.
Well, watch. Okay, now you've seen it.
There you go. We've seen it all now, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, for tonight, we'd like to turn the attention to A.G. Merrick Garland. And today he put out a message that, well, fuck him. Biden Garland insist Americans need to remember J6. Nearly 1,600 have been prosecuted. An unrelenting effort has been underway to rewrite, even erase the history of that day. And yes, I expect on January 20th for the majority of the Jan 6ers to be unconditionally pardoned. President Joe Biden and Attorney Merrick Garland are again bringing up the riot and protest of January 6, 2021 at the Capitol after Biden's electoral certification in Congress was disrupted by protesters 4 years ago, and they don't want anyone to forget it. Since the riot and protest occurred, some 16,000 people have been prosecuted by the Department of Justice. One of those people just happens to be friend of the show, Call Me Ignorant, aka Stephen Ignoramus. To that end, Biden wrote an article for the Washington Post, or at least the Washington Post ran an article with the president's byline. We cannot allow truth to be lost, Biden said, later adding that an unrelenting effort has been underway to rewrite or even erase the history of that day in time, said the official account of the president on X. There will be Americans who didn't witness the Jan 6 riot firsthand, but will learn about it from footage and testimony of that day. From what is written in the history books and from the truth we pass on to our children, we cannot allow that truth to be lost. Likewise, Garland put out a statement to mark the day and falsely claimed that 5 officers lost their lives in the line of duty as a result of what happened to them on January 6. Garland said January 6 was a violent attack on the law enforcement officers defending the Capitol, and it was an unprecedented attack on the cornerstone of our system of government, the peaceful transfer of power from one administration to the next. In reality, only one person is known to have died on January 6th, and that is Ashley Babbitt, a protester shot by Capitol Police. Per National Review, one police officer died of a stroke the day after the riot, and 4 others died of suicide within the days and months following January 6th. Additionally, the Democratic whip in the House of Representatives, Representative Catherine Clark, posted some false claims saying, "We remember the lives of the fallen and injured officers." A community note was published on her post in response that said no police officers were killed during the Jan 6 riot at the Capitol.
That suicide, is that in commas, is it?
No. It is
So it wasn't a Clinton suicide.
No. They were not found with 2 different calibers of bullets found in, shot through the back of their head. Biden and the Democrats have spent 4 years in the office harping on the Capitol riot of Jan 6 of 2021. And Garland's DOJ has prosecuted some 1,600 Americans in relation to their alleged participation. However, Trump has talked about granting clemency to many of those that he says have been greatly punished. Madam soon-to-be former, how do you feel about that? How do you feel if the president-elect, Donald J. Trump, grants blanket clemency, amnesty, and pardons these the people who participated or were prosecuted for the Jan 6 riot.
These people need to be punished. And this isn't right. Like, they killed so many police officers that day.
And the OC.
Yes, as well as AOC and me. I was killed. I was killed on that day, and I'll never get over it. And to think that Trump is just going to pardon the people that killed me it's unthinkable.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it here first. As a reminder,
I was killed.
That would explain why she has this insatiable hunger for brains now.
Just a reminder, the Harris Waltz electoral campaign is still $20 million in debt, and we can make it just a little bit more with every donation you give. Remember, every dollar you give to me is a dollar she doesn't get, and she dies a little inside every time a commie dies.
Wait, no, I thought the money's tonight's money's supposed to go to my campaign.
Yeah, about that. We decided against that.
What?
Yeah. Welcome to the internet.
This is why you're supposed to have a pimp.
Yeah, we're gonna get you a miniature liqueur gift basket though.
Oh.
I hope $20 million isn't that.
No, it's going to cost about 30
million.
No, just 30.
No, just 30 pence. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of every show, we like to do something called meme review, and this is going to be the Madam soon to be former first time. Well, at least for this. And so we'd like to welcome her in with some of your best and some of your worst memes. I have not reviewed any of these except for the ones that I've posted. So God help us all.
I have seen none of them.
Wow. And we start off with Bandit. Speeding woman on cocaine kills drunk driver high on meth in North Las Vegas, police says. Penalties offset, first down. That's an American football joke.
Yeah, it kind of got that. That's why it wasn't funny to me.
Hey, for all you coomers out there, we have a question. Can a sex doll cook your meals? Can a sex doll have your kids? Can a sex doll wash your clothes? Can a sex doll make your home? What's it? You're really triggered, to be honest. Ain't no sensible man that is buying that shit. Before we go to the response, Madam soon-to-be former, do you cook meals?
I wash greens in my bathtub.
There you go. And since you can wash greens in the bathtub, I assume that you can wash clothes as well.
Yes,
in the bathtub.
I could, but I don't.
And I imagine that you could make a home. And there was once upon a time before your age caught up to you, where you could bear children, right? So you could have babies. Ladies and gentlemen, I have just proved, yes, a sex doll can do all those things.
Hey, give science enough time.
So because of sex doll, y'all women suddenly think it's a woman's duty to cook, wash, and take care of the home. Cute. Okay.
Being just true.
I want so many people deported that I never have to press 1 for English again.
Yes.
Based. Oh, I can hear this one. Retarded. Oh. I'm currently experiencing life at several what the fucks per hour.
Oh, beyond that now.
Son, you're totally winning at Retard Simulator. I prefer ZZM pronouns. Madam, soon to be former, you're not supposed to think that's funny.
I was coughing.
Amazon Basic? Amazon Prime. Ooh. Amazon Basic is actually more attractive. I'm not.
Well, I don't like
apologize.
either of them.
No. But if I had to pick one, the previous is better than the latter. I mean, look at this alien right here. I just the original, the Disney remake. Did he know?
I'm waiting for Disney to make a Black Tarzan.
Get in, loser. Neither of us won. True. We deserve better psyops. Yes. Not a meme. Back in my day, they actually had to put some effort into false flags.
No, back in my day, they actually put some effort into false flag attacks.
Same.
Different.
Listen, y'all, my body is a temple, therefore I'm a church and exempt from paying taxes. Yes. Chances of me believing that Islam is a religion of peace. Red is none. Yellow also none, but in yellow. Yes.
Yep.
Great quote from a great man.
Mhm.
Islam is as dangerous in a man as rabies in a dog. Winston Churchill, former Prime Minister of England. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to see some boobs right now. That is just my mindset always. Yes.
Yep.
After last night's attack, New Orleans chief of police made a statement to the press. Yes. When Dora the Explorer explored west side of Dayton, Ohio, Jesus. Turned Dora into the horror. Oh. Slaps toilet lid. This bad boy can fit so many shits. But not as much as the streets are. Damn.
Ouch.
Oh, Punjabis. Cybertruck bomber had 8 stops to charge his truck. No wonder he killed himself. Finally, I remember what Zoom meetings remind me of. This is what we
call a Zoom meeting now.
We need to do our own January 6th now. Hold on. All this climbing is triggering my anxiety. I'd like to acknowledge that the insurrection is taking place on the ancestral and tribal homelands of the indigenous Anacostan people. Sorry, I need to wait for the rest of my polycule. I will be subletting my apartment from Jan 6th until January 18th. Hit me up on IG. Brat. Yes. Brad Summer, yes. When you try to reply to Eli Musk on X, well, what kind of X user are you? Verified or not?
Or not.
Not. Jeez,
Well, not a zeal meme to be seen yet.
Not yet. I asked AI to generate a stereotypical looking Subaru owner. Scissor me timbers. It's funny because it's lesbian. Yes. When you're too shy flirting, so you send him subtle hints. Madam, soon to be former, you don't have to do all this, do you? You don't do the subtle hints, do you?
Oh, actually, I have several of those pillows in the next room.
Okay. Be the violence you want to see in the world. Oh, that hippo.
Moodang.
Morgue worker stole human testicles from corpse to help her win homemade spaghetti sauce contest.
What?
Who?
Not a meme. And Zio's reaction. When can we burn things? Patience.
Can't read it.
It was $700. I'll be merging now. Sure. Back in my day, we didn't have autism. The same old people. I collect pictures of cakes that I clip out of magazines. Okay. Oh. If you know, you know. Jesus.
Where's the Kool-Aid man?
That's what I'm looking for.
Should be a dead Kool-Aid man there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Why waste money on lawnmowers when you can use vegans? The face you make when the war you started isn't going well. Yes, not a meme. I'm alive. Fuck you, Schrodinger. You're never like TV.
easy.
Bumped into Elon Musk at the restaurant. It's funny because they can't say L's. Yes.
Holy shit.
When will the left care about this mother being separated from her child? Oh, God. Rip Lakin Riley. Yeah, it's... For a moment there, I didn't look at the faces, so I thought it was something else. I'm not talking about it. It's horrible. This is just ridiculous. It just makes me angry. My first vape.
Gotta be faked.
Yeah. Allah Akbar. It's just an incident. Don't blame Islam. It's a religion of peace.
Don't harbor hatred.
We colonized his country. He's just a confused young man. It's the system's fault.
Exactly. And he's brown. Nobody says he's brown.
Not anymore, he's not.
I can't pass my ham radio test. It's okay. I'll just settle for a GRMS. Hate to break it to you, Tim, but most people don't understand that one.
I don't.
If we divide 123 genders by white supremacy, how much climate change do we have?
That's not a meme. It's actually what's taught.
Pretty much. Me still sending out memes after the collapse of society. Oh, look. He has.
Yep.
Yes. We're from Honduras seeking asylum in another country. You're in Mexico. Problem solved. Yes. Not a meme. Don't be pessimistic. It won't work anyway. Damn it, he's right. Okay.
Not a meme.
Y'all want some guacamole? Yes.
Ah, a gun pun.
Thank you for asking how we are. Okay. By the way, it snowed yesterday in Oklahoma. Yes, the current state of the UK. Yes.
Not a meme.
Not a meme. Caroline was a good Christian woman, but Charles had needs. Sick, disgusting needs. Little house on the prairie. Oh, yes.
Little house also dreary.
Yes. Tell George fake 20s still don't spin. God damn it. They didn't call me by my preferred pronouns. Can't take it.
Not a meme, and it's Shaggy from Scooby Doo.
Yes. The back doors. Yes.
Oh God.
You have to appreciate the humor. Older guys will understand. Yes, it's a Pinto. It's funny because if you tap the rear bumper, it would catch fire. That's what the joke was.
Mhm.
A picture of the Indian Navy coming into the UK waters. God damn. If
Is
you
it
know,
wrong?
you know.
Is it wrong?
Yeah. You got me. How to spot a perv? Yes, I guess. Madam soon to be former. Look. Another suggestion for work.
Yeah,
I think you could be
sorry,
regional
but
manager.
You gotta take what you can get. Yeah.
Sounds like my dating methods in high school. Yeah, not a meme. U.S. Capitol Code of Conduct. Protests for Palestine, yes.
Yep.
Gay sex,
Not a meme.
yes. Pulling the fire alarm, yes. Our Father who art in heaven. Terrorism, no. Welcome to Canada, now Justin Trudeau free. Daddy doesn't live here anymore. A book about divorce. And the big man in the back, yes. A woman can do anything a man can do. Try pissing on a campfire.
I love that cat.
The ATF is like a box of chocolates. They'll kill your dog. Yes. Grandma used to say, don't brag about how good you can cook. Men will eat 3-day-old pizza and press them with anal sex.
That's true.
The Jamestown place set is still my favorite.
Yeah. First day at the Holosun factory. Oh, that hits personal because I have Holosun sites. No. Wish fulfillment for Londoners, yes. I hope everyone realizes you've just witnessed here. Donald Trump literally bullied the head of a nation out of office. America don't need bombs. We got bans. Bye-bye, Justin. and then he called me governor.
Oh, we've got a Zeal meme.
Don't care if you lost the election and currently $20 million in debt. You're not getting your soul back, Kamala. That's mean. Fair, I guess. Maybe I don't.
Yeah.
No. Oh God.
Ew.
Nasty.
Yeah, it's the playset.
I gotta say, where
You just come back. There it is. There.
fucking savage. That is my pick.
Yeah.
And Batsy, that's your pick too.
Oh yeah.
Madam soon to be former. What is your favorite meme of the night?
Probably it's got to be the January 6th one with my people.
Oh. Okay, yeah, that was.
It's topical.
Not that one.
No.
It's this
That
one.
one.
There. Yes. Because they're doing it for me, and this is Brat and everything. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, it was totally brat.
Ocean also likes the Schrodinger's cat one.
Oh yeah. The Schrodinger's cat was a good one.
Yeah.
Where was it? Oh, it was down this
Further
way.
down. You just come.
This one was this one was good.
Yeah.
Honorable mention. Definite honorable mention. Trying to think, is there any others that just really, and I'll leave. Yeah. Where is it? Where is it? I'm looking for this one. A picture of the Indian Navy coming into UK waters. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
But yes, definitely winner for tonight with the Jamestown, and that was by.
You just go past it. There it is. There.
Savage. Ultimately, just utterly savage. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everything. And I, of course, appreciate the not so real Madam soon to be former, and I hit the wrong thing, aka Dawn, aka River.
Yeah, my name's Kamala. I'm Kamala Harris, and I am the vice president, and his name is Joe Biden, and he is the president.
For 14 days. 14 more days.
Until he isn't anymore.
I am the vice president. My name's Kamala.
Yes. Thank you.
Let me be clear.
No, she wants to be Claire.
Thought she wanted to be Kamala.
Yes.
See you Wednesday, you weirdos. Good night. Love you.
Night.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. I do cocaine!